Hey, this is Voon. This is going to be another SoloQ strat on cash, and this is going to be a fairly simple way to take middle if you have one smoke, generally a flash, and some pretty decent aim. And it's actually the type of thing that a lot of puggers are doing recently, and that's kind of where I picked it up. Someone used it against me, and I think it's extremely effective, especially against the way mid is typically played in pugs. So the smoke you're going to need to know is actually the same thing that a lot of people throw as a flash, or at least they used to. You can aim up from the right side of the red near to the top of this pillar or beam and throw as you get towards this doorway. So it's going to look a little bit like this, and that's going to bounce out to the left and you can peek out behind it. This is extremely effective against the way that terrorist sides or counter-terrorist sides typically run their middle in pugs. Of course, it's pretty easy to counter, well, if you know what you're doing and your team is coordinated. However, in pugs, it can be very hard to counter if your teammates don't really know what they're doing, because it's going to look a little bit like this in middle. And with these two smokes down, the general way that players are going to want to counter this, and if this happens against you, you can play a player close middle, and you can play a player white box that spams the smoke. Now the problem with this is as soon as this guy runs out of ammo from white box, if he doesn't have a player close mid, and oftentimes people are worried about playing close mid, or you can double flash to them and make them scared, think someone could be out. As soon as this guy reloads, or if there's a flash that comes over, he gets blind or anything, he has to worry that someone has already made it out under boost, and he can't really re-peek without worrying about someone being under vent. It's also important to note that with this smoke, you can throw them off by coming out to the right, and again, it's another angle that this white box player can't really deal with. If he's worried about the right side, you can be out to the left. So this smoke gives you a lot of versatility in the things you can do. If the counter-terrorist side is soloing mid, it's an incredibly easy way to take middle. If they're duoing it, typically what you can see players do or teams do is switch it up a little bit. So one round you can come heavy over boost because this white box player cannot possibly be looking at boost or anything like that. He has to be playing back, worried about this smoke. The sandbags player, of course, if he plays here, is pretty exploitable. Anybody pushing up mid, oftentimes, if you just don't throw this smoke for one round, is going to be kind of caught in the middle of the open, especially in a pug where they're trying to deal with the smoke. So there's a lot of things you can do off of this smoke that can kind of put a lot of pressure on middle. Even if they're trying to hold it well, it's very hard to have the coordination to actually hold middle perfectly on cash in pugs, and that makes this smoke extremely effective. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope this helped.